That was good.
Boom.
Wasn't that
Rex.
something, Rex?
Yeah, that's a lot of action-packed nuggets in there.
I could really relate, Kristy, with what you said about you don't have a right to misbehave. I heard somebody else say it a little differently, but it was just as profound to me, and that it was suffering does not justify immorality.
Mm.
And that just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, wow, okay, because it's true.
That's good.
That's interesting that is what kind of was the catalyst for you to get into this and start that journey. You mentioned a lot about I like what you said, like, well, you said, well, no, I didn't say, I said this, and that kind of back and forth. And I've recognized this a lot with conversations that my wife and I have, where I really think she said something else, but she didn't. Is there any way or any tips you have that people can better recognize that in their own interactions and relationships?
Well, I think when you as soon as you start to see that loop is happening, the best thing you can do is slow down and say, maybe I misheard you. What do you think you said? Because you're never going to convince your partner that they said something they don't think they said. So
yeah, that's true.
Right? It probably hasn't worked for you.
There is that replay tape, right? Like on the football field.
I'm going to stop cameras everywhere. I'm going to catch you.
And I just want to say, I literally, like, if you picture a couple sitting on a couch, I watch one person say this and then it flips around in the air and the other person hears something totally different. And as the therapist, I'm like the mediator. Oh, no. Actually, this is what I heard them say.
Yeah,
but if I wasn't there, I could just see how things get so convoluted. So slowing it down. What is it that you think you said?
Yeah. That is really what your role is as a therapist, but we could do that alone as a couple. I like that. It's slowing down, right? That's what you do as a therapist. At least I see my role in that. Like, oh, now let's hold off now. I heard something different. Great.
Have you seen that too, Liz, where people...
Oh, yes. It's easy to see, right? But sometimes I can't see to myself.
Yeah.
But I can see it play out in front of me.
Yeah, it's very hard to see the label. We're inside the jar, so it's kind of hard to see the label.
Yes.
That's right.
That's a good one.
I love that. You've said that before, and I like that.
I've heard that in marketing, and it's. I think it applies to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But it seems a lot to do with like emotional intelligence too, like just being. You'd mentioned something about that later on. Just like being able to be empathetic or understand where somebody else is coming from. You had a little way of saying it. What was it? I can't remember, but I thought that was really cool. Do you have tips for people to be a little more, maybe how to start being a little more emotionally intelligent?
Yes. I mean, a lot of this work will help. I mean, in therapy, but even if you read the books, but starting to figure out, like, am I more walled off? Even if you think of the relationship grid, am I somebody that's more walled off, or do I tend to be more boundaryless? And am I more in shame, or do I tend to be more grandiose? Like, and starting to recognize if you start to get out of help where you're going. And that's one thing. This isn't RLT, but one of my favorite things in the world is the Enneagram, because it's so much more detailed and it just shows a complete map of our personality structure. So that might be for another day, but it's incredibly helpful in seeing yourself up close.
That wasn't the quiz, was it, Liz?
Let's talk about the quiz. The quiz is the 4 quadrants.
I took it, and I must be really like off the charts or something, because I haven't gotten the reply yet. And it's been over 5 minutes.
Oh.
I must have broken the machine or something.
Oh, I thought it happened right away. No, Kristy, maybe not.
Well, I said it would take 5 minutes, but I'm like, okay, where's these? What am I? Was that bad? Did I fail?
Yeah.
What happened?
Did you look in your spam or junk? It's
Yeah,
not
I've
there.
checked that. I don't know if I maybe, hit a wrong digit on the email address part, or I might have to take it again. But
Thank you for trying. I appreciate
I'm going
that.
to. I'm very curious about this.
I would love for us to put that quiz on our site. We'll add that to the show notes if that's okay, Kristy.
Oh yeah. I think
that's so powerful.
the grid is brilliant because you can't misbehave and not know it. After you learn the grid, you have to convict yourself. Like I'll be like, I'm one up in boundaryless right now, and I know it, and I better get out of here soon, but I don't want to. But you might not want to change, but you can't tell yourself you're in a healthy place because you start to recognize what they all look like, and if I'm healthy, I better get myself back to the center there.
And explaining the quadrants, it's what we do when we're triggered. What would you say? It's what we do when we're obviously not at
when
our
we're
best.
triggered and we fall out of health. That's where we go. And I like to call it the self-esteem grid because all of us, it's a human grid. We've all been to every quadrant. We just probably have a more dominant quadrant, especially in our current relationship. We're pretty consistent, but it's not that we haven't all been to every quadrant. It's just part of being a human being.
Mm-hmm. No, that's well said. It's our most dominant.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Kristy, since she's so aware of these quadrants and she was helping me trying to understand my own, but my husband and I land in the upper left quadrant, which is walled off and one up, not very attractive. And what did you say Terry Real calls that one?
It's sailing off into the sunset under the sail of your own magnificence.
Isn't that hard to hear though? Yeah, so telling, right? And he has those great little lines for each quadrant.
Yes,
really.
he does.
And some are a little bit more volatile than others.
Mm-hmm. One down and walled off is the Eeyore, like why bother?
Eeyore, why try, right?
One up and boundaryless is the violent, controlling, get over here and love me now because I deserve it. That's that feeling. And then the one...
Make me feel good about me, right? Make me feel good about me. Is that quadrant?
Yes.
Okay.
And then one down and boundaryless is like, don't leave me. I'll be whatever you want me to be. I'll do whatever you want me to be. Just love me, please. That's simplifying it. But
this is why I probably haven't gotten the results yet.
Yeah, well, that top one, top left, seems a little more embarrassing than the others all of a sudden. But okay.
I would think the violent one sounds pretty bad too.
They're all bad.
The violent it's all tough. Yeah, and I love that you say we can see ourselves kind of in all four, but one might be more dominant, and depending on the relationship, right?
Yeah.
So I might show up in a different relationship in a different quadrant.
Yes. Like maybe if you had a sister, you'd be in a different quadrant, or a parent, or if you were in a different relationship, a previous relationship, you might have been in a different quadrant than your current relationship.
So I don't really remember. So you take this questionnaire, this quiz, and you have a relationship in mind when you take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He says your current relationship.
Okay.
All right,
that's very cool. So we might do it next time differently with a sister. I like that. Or a brother. Okay, cool. Rex, what else? What else were you thinking as you listened in?
I like the, it's time for concerns. Well, here's mine. Oh my gosh. Does that not happen all the time? But it's a cute little kind of label to put on it and laugh. So you can be like, okay, really, I need to put my laundry basket down here for a second and listen to your concerns and address those. Because that is frustrating when you're in a relationship. And it's like, yeah, we're not getting anywhere because every time I bring up my stuff, you bring up your stuff. So we're just an immovable force meets an unstoppable object.
Totally.
So, or I think I said
so. That's where taking turns, right? Or the customer service hat comes
in.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that because it reminded me of something I heard years ago that I thought was so simply profound. But it's like you go to a pizza store and at the table will be a little card that says, how are we doing? And the pizza store always wants to know how it's doing. So I try to remember that and ask my wife once in a while, how am I doing? Or even my kids, like, am I meeting your expectations? Am I being here for you? What do you want?
That's a great question.
What do you need from me?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think we should all have our own little pizza shop cards.
Yeah.
Fill this
How am I
out.
doing?
I'm taking
Yeah.
suggestions right
And
now.
some days I am less apt to ask that question, right? I am less able to hear the answers, but
I'd say 11 out of 10 days I'm less likely to want to hear any of that.
what a great, yeah. What a great idea, Rex. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's
I
great.
have
Rex.
done it, and it definitely brings me closer to my wife and my kids.
Oh, I bet. It's got to be music to their ears. It's like, oh my gosh, he really wants to know. He really cares about being a good father, good daddy, good husband. It's lovely.
And I love when I get asked that question because I'm like, okay, here we go. I got a list. I got a
Are you ready?
manifesto.
Yeah.
You said some really good zingers today. Like I said, I did like the it's time for concerns. Here's mine. Relationships. I don't think I'm saying it the way you said it because I try to jot it down really quick. But relationships involve grief or come with grief.
Yeah,
How did you say
there's grief in intimacy. In any relationship, there will be grief because we'll never get everything that we hoped for. And if we are resentful about that, we will hurt the relationship and hurt ourselves. But if we can maturely mourn that, then we can accept that the fact that I am with somebody who's not perfect and I love them anyway. And I'm grateful that they're in my life for these reasons.
Yeah. And that bounces off what you said, the guy saying, you're not a prize either, is the humility of realizing, like, that's just so poetically put. And I love it so much that that's going to leave a mark. That's really good. Did you learn that from Terry Rio? Did you come up with that on your own?
No, I heard it from Terry Rio.
A train went by and you saw those words go by.
No, he told it in a training, and I loved it. So I got it from him.
It's really good. I like it. The other one I had on here: harmony, disharmony, repair, adaptive child. Gosh, I thought I had another one. I was really wanting to get my results back. I didn't get those back, but
oh, that's too bad.
These are
speaking of adaptive child, is that part of the quadrant? What's the connection? Adaptive child.
The way it relates is that it's really our adaptive child that's reactive. So it's our adaptive child part of us that goes to these quadrants. So once we know we've felt that whoosh, the trigger, and we're not in health, our adaptive child is basically taken over the steering wheel and has driven into one of those quadrants. So our wise adult self is not online. It's in the backseat, and our immature adaptive child is like, running the show.
Is that similar to the ego?
Yes. I like to use that word interchangeably because it really is.
Yeah. Because, I definitely, there are times that adaptive child definitely, I like how you said that too, takes the wheel. Like you just get distracted and that little kid just takes the wheel and drives you right off the cliff. Why isn't I paying attention here? What's going on?
I have a good...
I'm only laughing because I see it.
No, sorry, go ahead.
In myself, I get it. No, I just see it. I'm only laughing because not at you, but with you, Rex. I get it. Go ahead, Kristy.
Well, Terry tells a story that I like because of the visual. He says if he sees his wife coming at him and she's angry, he feels his adaptive child go whoosh, and he wants to say, "Bring it on!" Right? And then his wise adult reaches out to the child and goes, "Hey, little Terry, don't worry about her. I'll deal with her." And he puts him behind him, and then he says, "Hey, Belinda, you look upset. What's wrong?" But that's what happens. It is that quick. And if we don't get a hold of it that quick, we're probably off.
We're off to the races.
Yes.
Yep.
To put it nicely, yeah. Off to the races. Something else I liked, and I wanted to even hear Liz's take on this too, was seeing couples where there's just no energy between them. That's got to be kind of tough to watch. Do you try and get them to start fighting?
It's just emotionally checked out. Yeah, that's tough.
To me, it's the hardest couples. It's like, it's so hard. It's so hard. when there isn't a fight there, it's like, well, you kind of want to just say, so have we given up? Should we move on? Or is there anything left to fight for? You know, it's somebody's got to find the fight or it's not going to be repaired.
What if just one person finds it, Kristy? Do you see that sometimes?
Yes. And then at least there's more hope that the other one will get on board. Because sometimes.
And if the other one doesn't get on board, it's tough.
Yeah. It's really tough. I mean, you can only do it for so long before it becomes really unhealthy, right?
You were going to say something else sometimes, were you?
Well, sometimes somebody needs just the boat to be rocked. Like they've kind of just checked out, but once they realize their partner's on their way out, it might really rock them. Like
Ignite
I've been pretty complacent, but I actually don't want to lose this. So then they will get more engaged, but they almost have to fear losing everything to wake up.
That's really what this all is about. It's a wake up, isn't it? It's waking couples up. I've heard Terry say.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, I've never heard that. That's powerful.
Yeah.
To self, to what's going on in the relationship, just the wake up.
Well, I thought it was profound when I heard Bill Doherty. Might even been the first time we talked to him, but he said that it's the high conflict couples are not the ones who divorce. It's the low to no conflict. And I thought that was very interesting. And like you're echoing that here, like the people who aren't willing to, they love something, so they're going to fight for it. Are the ones that are kind of, gosh, they're arguing all the time, but yeah, but they you don't think so, but they really love each other because they're trying to like improve each other and they care about the other one enough to want to get what they need. They just can't quite communicate or articulate it sometimes. Is that like a common issue too, where you have people who just can't quite articulate what it is they want or what it is they're having a problem with?
Yeah, or they just don't have self-regulation skills. They don't know how to communicate in the healthy ways. But you're right. They care enough that they're still hurt by their partner because they care so much. So they're fighting because they're hurt. When somebody has like withdrawn so much that they don't even care enough, that's why it's like you've already stopped really loving this person that much. You just don't know how to get out, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so painful, that apathy.
Yeah. Emotional divorce. I've heard that, we only engage in conflict because we care. That's, if you don't care, then you're sensitive to conflict. Yeah,
it's why they say the opposite of love is indifference, not hate. It's like, don't even care.
The absence of love, yeah. That's interesting. That's profound.
Wow.
Gosh, I don't know. This has all been so good.
Yeah, been fun.
Felt a little bit of a downer there for a second, but
to have it over.
It's so
just a little
profound,
downer.
all these little.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we say this? You really can turn around your relationship, but first you have to wake up. You have to wake up and decide, I want a good and healthy relationship, and I'm going to do what it takes to get there. And my goal for couples is for them both to have a happy, healthy relationship. And if one of them refuses, then maybe the goal is for the other one to get out of the relationship and find someone who does want to do the work. It's not, my goal is not stay in an unhealthy place forever, but don't divorce. So you can have change, but it has to start with you.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Good ending note.
So good.
Thank you, Kristy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey, do us a favor and take a second to subscribe to our podcast and the Utah Marriage Commission YouTube channel at Utah Marriage Commission, where you can watch this and every episode of the show. Be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment, and share this episode with a friend. You can also follow and interact with us on Instagram at Stronger Marriage Life and Facebook at Stronger Marriage. So be sure to share with us which topics you loved or which guests we should have on the show next. If you want even more resources to improve your marriage or relationship connection, visit strongermarriage.org. where you'll find free workshops, e-courses, in-depth webinars, relationship surveys, and more. Each episode of Stronger Marriage Connection is hosted and sponsored by the Utah Marriage Commission at Utah State University. And finally, a big thanks to our producer, Rex Polanis, and the team at Utah State University, and you, our audience. You make this show possible. The opinions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of the Utah Marriage Commission